My sewing plans this winter are definitely going to be around layering. And the inspiration for all the pieces honestly began with a pair of pants that I finished about a month ago. I found this fabric in the red tag section at my local Joann's and I absolutely fell in love with it. It is, let's see, I have a label on my fabric. I try to label all of my fabrics as soon as I buy them. Doesn't always work out that way, but I try my best. I label them with where I bought it, the fabric content, and care instructions. Whenever I wash it, whether I put it in the dryer or air dried it, I always make a note of that too, because I like to keep track of that. This is, they call it the Python Stretch Denim. It's 57 inches wide, 98% cotton, 2% spandex. It's recommended to hand wash it. I usually just put it in the washer in the gentle cycle, and then I try to air dry most of the stuff that I make, and I did that with this one. One of the things that I love about these pants, and I'll put a picture somewhere so you can see them, is that I put a slit at the hem of the pants, and I think I posted a video on Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen this. So my sewing plans kind of started to be based on trying to make pieces that I can style with these pants, or at least be inspired with the vibe of this print and this fabric. I thought about making a suit, a matching suit with the pants, but unfortunately I don't have enough fabric. So I came up with an idea of making a black blazer and using this fabric as an accent. I'll put up a sketch that I made with the idea. This concept I've done before. I took two tops and I upcycled them and made one top. The way that I attached that section, it almost kind of looks like a big overlay, and I finished the edges with a satin stitch, and then I stitched that on top of the fabric. I may do that with this design. I'm not quite sure yet how I want to finish it, if I want it to be just attached with a clean seam around the curves to get that effect both on the blazer itself and on the sleeves, or I may play around with a very small piece, put a satin stitch around some curves and kind of see if I like the texture and how it looks at the end. So I'll play around with that. So that's the first piece that I'm going to be working on, kind of a matching blazer for the pants with the accent piece. This is the black fabric that I'm going to use for the blazer. For most of the blazer will be out of this fabric. This is a black poly rayon twill. It's 71% polyester, 28% rayon, and it has 1% spandex. I try to, whenever I can, use something with spandex because of course it offers a little bit more comfort. So that's going to be for my jacket. The other thing that I want to do is I want to make a pair of pants just black so that I can mix and match with the other pieces that I have in mind, which I'll show you here in a minute. I bought this fabric. Let me see if I can try to show you what it looks like. I bought this fabric quite a few years ago. Whenever I travel, I always look for fabric shops, specifically small fabric shops. And a lot of times they have their fabrics on tables and they don't always have labels on them, but I find very interesting fabric whenever I do go to the smaller fabric shops. So this one here was actually during a trip to LA, and I bought it at Michael Levine, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It didn't have a label on it, it's just labeled Marnie Mix. But what I can tell you is that it definitely has almost like a scuba knit feel. It's rather thick, and what I really love about it is that it has a bit of a textured print. It almost looks like crackled vinyl. I don't know how else to explain it, but I want to make a pair of pants. Now, the only thing is, I'm gonna play around with it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put the side slit on the hem. We'll see how that goes. I may just leave it as a regular hem. I also want to make a couple of tops, and I want to try to make something out of like a sweater knit. I am going to remake this top here. It has a high neck. It is sleeveless, but again, my whole concept with my sewing plans this winter is all about layering. Sometimes if I'm going to travel to places that I know is going to be super cold, then I may consider making a coat or something a little bit warmer. But we have really mild winters here in Florida, so having a sweater knit top, sleeveless, usually works out. So I'm remaking this top. I really love this self-drafted pattern, and I love the way that these triangular shapes on the sides really allow me to shape in the waist, so it makes it a little bit more fitted. For this particular top, I'm going to upcycle a couple of pieces. So this is a dress. I believe I found this one at a thrift store. I really like the stripes, and I think I'm gonna play around with it. I chose this one because if you look at the top that I made, it's a wide rib knit, and it makes those angled triangles and angled pieces a little bit more noticeable. So I think the stripes on this fabric are going to look really cool. So I'm pretty sure I have enough fabric to make it work. So that's one of the tops that I'm gonna make. The other one is I'm gonna upcycle this sweater. This actually was a sweater that a friend of mine gave me. I always encourage my friends and family members to think of me whenever they're cleaning out their closets, because I can always use the fabric. I can use the zippers, the buttons, whatever that piece has, and upcycle them. So this sweater I like, even though the rib knit here is much thinner. I don't think those angled triangles and the style lines are going to be that noticeable, but I love this. The color's so beautiful. It's like a deep blue. It has sparkle in it, which is my thing. And I took it apart and I laid it out with a pattern, and I think I'm going to have just enough fabric to make it work. So I'll have two of these tops that I can wear with the black pants. I also want to make a bomber jacket. I've already made a couple of those in different fabrics. I found this fabric in the red tag section at my local Joann's as well. I've probably had this for about 2 years, and what really caught my eye, the fabric itself is velvet, and the sequin are two-sided. One side is velvet, one side is your shiny sequin. So this baby is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I haven't quite figured out if I want to make the sleeves out of a different fabric, maybe a black satin, not quite sure. I may just make the whole entire thing out of the sequin fabric. And last but not least, I want to make a crop jacket. So I have something like this that I want to create. I have to draft the pattern, so this is the last thing I'm going to work on. This fabric here I bought online a long time ago. I've had this in my stash for quite a few years now. It's called Chicago Jacquard, and it's a stretch denim, and the print, it's like weaved in there. It's like a slant kind of checkered effect. It's 65% rayon, 32% polyester, and 3% spandex. This baby stretches. I mean, look at that. So I think it's perfect for something that's fitted because it'll be nice and comfortable. Let me see if I can get this close to the camera. You probably can't see it. I'll try to put a better image up on the video. But so I want to make the main jacket out of that, and then the placket in the front and around the neck, I think I'm just gonna use this piece of satin that I have left over. I might have enough to cover that section there. So as you can see, most of the things that I'm going to be working on are black, or at least on the darker color side. But I think what I'm going to do, because I haven't figured out what types of linings I'm going to put in the jackets, I may inject a little bit of color there. So if you want to see what I end up choosing, and I'm trying my very best to pick something from my fabric stash, because I am not shopping for fabric until I use everything that I have that I've accumulated for all these years. So I'm probably going to pick some really colorful, fun fabrics, lining fabrics for the inside of the jackets to inject a little bit of color. I'll be sharing all of the videos on each and every one of these pieces as I work on them. So if you want to see what linings I picked out, go ahead and turn on your notifications so that you can get notified when the videos are up. Like I said, the first thing I'm going to work on is the blazer to match the pants. And I need to figure out what I want to do for that insert, how I want to apply it. So this is all I have for this video. I'll see you in the next video.